Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a used book haul. I went to a used bookstore that I really love. It's been about a few weeks now. I just kept forgetting to film this. It's not a huge haul, but I'm really excited about it, so let's just jump in. This first one is one I mentioned in a previous video that it was the most recent book that I bought, and that is Mothman Prophecies by John A. Keel. This is about the Mothman sightings in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, I think in the 60s, yeah, in the 1960s. Mothman is considered a cryptid or possibly an alien. There's some connection to the Men in Black in the story. This is supposedly based off of true events, and I am thrilled to have this and cannot wait to read it. This next one is called The Reckoning by Ruby Jean Jensen. This is an author I've never read before, but I believe Alex from Hey Little Thrifter has read some of her books, at least one of her books. I know I've heard this name from her. Maybe she's read this one, can't remember. But on the cover it says, years ago, the children had disappeared, but now they're back and ready for the reckoning. So maybe this is like Children of the Corn a little bit. I'm not quite sure, but there's a creepy doll on the cover. So yeah, hopefully this is good and I'll like it. This one is The Rising by Brian Keene, another author I haven't read yet, but is pretty popular in the horror community. I know I've heard his name before. This one is a zombie type novel, or yeah, Living Dead kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know a whole lot about this one. If you guys have read any of these books I'm showing, let me know what you think of them and if there's any I should read sooner rather than later. But yep, this is The Rising by Brian Keene. This one is called The Quest by Patrick Billings. This says, Enter the Mind of a Madman. On the back it says, mutilated bodies are turning up in Yellowstone National Park, apparently ripped to shreds by killer grizzly bears. An evil presence is lurking in Yellowstone, a calculating and devious madman carrying out his childhood fantasies in a ritual of sadistic sacrifice. So yeah, this one seems like it's going to be quite scary. I like to be in the woods a lot. I used to hike a lot. So yeah, this one might really terrify me. This next one is called The Summoning by Bentley Little, another author I haven't read yet but I have heard of, big in the horror community. This one is about vampires in Arizona, like vampires coming out of the desert. So yeah, I really like the setting idea of this one because I don't think I've ever read anything or seen anything with vampires in the desert, so sounded cool, so I picked it up. This one is Boy's Life by Robert R. McCammon. I have read Swan Song by him and loved it. It was a 5-star read for me. Haven't read Boy's Life yet. A lot of you guys have. It's really popular. But yeah, I was really excited to see a copy of this. And all of these books were super cheap. All of them were like $4 or less. So yeah, I was really happy to get this for so inexpensive. This one is Ghost Ships: True Stories of Nautical Nightmares, Hauntings, and Disasters by Richard Weiner. So this one is exactly like it sounds, short true stories on ghost ships, and it has pictures in it. I love ghost ship stories or haunted ships. Being out on the open water is one of my big fears. I don't think I'd ever want to go on a cruise ship where you can't see the land. I love boats. I grew up on a boat. I used to go crabbing all the time in the Chesapeake, but everywhere we went you could see land. But I do have a pretty big fear of open water where you're just in the middle of nowhere and you can't see anything. To me that seems very claustrophobic. So yeah, ghost ship stuff really scares me, and of course ghosts are like my favorite thing. So I'm hoping to get to this one maybe this month because this seems like a summery type thing. Like I think of water and ocean like summery. So hopefully I will get to this one soon. This one is Horror Show by Greg Kine. I think that's how you say his name. This one sounded really interesting, so I'm going to go ahead and read the back because I don't think I can describe this very well. But it says, Hollywood, 1996, when Monster Magazine reporter Clint Stockburn sets out to interview the legendary 50s horror movie director Landis Woodley, he uncovers a bizarre story of real-life horror. Flashback to Hollywood, 1957. Woodley is shooting his latest zombie movie, Cadaver, in a real morgue when he has a brainstorm that will help him pinch some pennies. But when zombie makeup effects are replaced by real corpses, a deadly curse begins to take its toll on those foolish enough to become involved with the filming of the soon-to-be cult classic Cadaver. So this sounds very interesting to me. I've never read anything like this, and I do like dual timeline perspectives in books, and I love like the classic Hollywood monster movies. So I just think this one is going to be super fun. This one is a science fiction one. It says Ray Bradbury presents Dinosaur Planet, a novel by Stephen Lee. I haven't read anything by Stephen Lee, but I do love Ray Bradbury. I'm going to read the back of this one also. It says, Eccles, a psychotic time traveler, has shot a dinosaur and meddled with history, destroying the future and trapping himself in the past. Transported to an alternate prehistoric period by a savage time storm, Aaron Cofield manages to link up with a lost time safari guide, Travis. Together they must hunt down Eccles and restore the shape of history. So this is like time travel, alternate dimensions, dinosaurs. I think this sounds fantastic. So I found this and I was like, score! I'm so excited for this. But then I realized that this is actually a sequel. This is the second in a series. So I have to hunt down the first book somewhere. I think I saw a copy of the first book on Amazon, like a used copy, but it was like $100 or something. So maybe my next trip I can find the first book at the used bookstore. But yeah, I am really looking forward to reading this someday after I read the first one. Then I grabbed this beautiful copy of another Ray Bradbury book. It's called From the Dust Returned. This is about an ancient family that is older than the pyramids, and they're living in Indiana, I think, or Illinois, and they're strange and they rarely come out during the daytime, and the neighbors are wondering what's up with these people. It kind of reminds me of The Old Man in the Halloween Tree, also by Ray Bradbury, how he like travels through time and he knows things. So I'm thinking maybe this has to do with him, like it's connected to the Halloween Tree. Plus, I don't know if you can see, but there's a picture of this guy flying and it looks like the guy from the Halloween Tree, so I think they're connected. But yeah, I was stoked to find this because, again, I really love Ray Bradbury and I haven't read this one, so probably September, October, I'll get to this. Okay, so the next ones I'm going to show is a whole series. I'm just going to show them all together. And that is the Soulless series. Is that what it's called? An Alexa Terabody novel. You guys know what this is, I'm sure. It came out a couple years ago and it looks like this, and it's paranormal steampunk. And so I got this book, I don't know, maybe like a year ago, and it's been sitting on my shelf forever, and on the whim I picked it up last month or the month before and I read it and I loved it. I was kind of iffy about it when I found out that it had steampunk in it. I didn't realize there was steampunk in it, and I didn't think I liked steampunk. There wasn't much steampunk in it. I mean, there was some, but not much. That wasn't the main focus of the story. It's really about vampires and werewolves and this girl who is what you call a preternatural, who is someone who was born without a soul. So that gives her a certain kind of power. It is super funny, super good. For some reason, I didn't talk about this book. I don't think I did a wrap-up the month that I read this, but it was great. I loved it. So I went ahead and picked up the rest of the series when I saw them all at the used bookstore, and they all had matching covers, so I had to get them. So I got Changeless, Timeless, Blameless, and Heartless. And I don't know what order they go in, obviously, but I will be getting to them at some point. And the last book I got at the used bookstore, I do have 3 other books that weren't from that store. I'll talk about those in a minute, but the last one from the used bookstore is this beautiful copy of Stephen King's Dreamcatcher. I see deer every day. They're all over my property, so I just really love the snowy background and the deer all on this cover. I just think it's gorgeous. I think this is a movie, and I think I've seen this movie a long time ago, and I think it had something to do with aliens. That's my vague memory of it, but I'm not quite sure. So if you guys have read this, if it's aliens, let me know. If it's one you think I would really be interested in. I know I haven't read the book, but I think I've seen the movie. So yeah, let me know if you've read this and if it's really good, because if it's got aliens, I'll probably like it. Okay, and the last ones that I got, two I got from Amazon, one I got from the Edgar Allan Poe Museum. So I got a boxed set of some more Ray Bradbury books. I got these three and I love these covers. So there is Farewell to Summer, We'll Always Have Paris, and Dandelion Wine. And I think this one is connected with Something Wicked This Way Comes. I think this one you're supposed to read first. So yeah, I am super happy to have these books because yes, Ray Bradbury is great. This next one is kind of odd. It's unlike any other book I've ever had before, and it's called 100 Word Horrors, Anthology of Horror Drabbles. And this is literally stories, horror stories. I don't know if you can see that, but each story only has 100 words in it. So it's like they're trying to pack the biggest punch they can with a tiny amount of writing, and I love that kind of stuff. And the last book. Okay, let's get through this. But this is Tales and Poems from Edgar Allan Poe featuring The Raven. It has an introduction by Del Toro, which is really cool. But yeah, this is how the book looks. It has the black pages and it has that like really soft cover on it. And it's black on the inside. It's so beautiful. I love it. This might be the prettiest book I own. And I also got a bookmark when I was there that I've got in there, and it's a wooden one that is carved, etched, I don't know. And it says, "All that we see or seen is but a dream within a dream," which is a quote from Poe. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Poe. I already have a book of Poe's stories and poems, but that wasn't enough. I had to have this. Oh, you know what? It just occurred to me there was one more book I forgot to show you guys that I got from the used bookstore, but I have it downstairs because I'm currently reading it and I forgot to bring it up. I will put a picture of it up here, but it is The Montauk Monster by Hunter Shea, and I love it. It's great. I'm almost done with it, and I cannot wait to get more books from him because it's fantastic. So I will go ahead and get off of here so y'all don't have to listen to me ramble on anymore. I hope y'all have a very great day, and I will see y'all soon. Bye.